The crash happened so quickly. You may have fallen before you even realized things were slippery. Injuries can happen before you even know that you're in danger. And then typically the calls will start. Maybe it's an insurance adjuster wanting a recorded statement, or your doctor's office wanting to know how are those medical bills going to get paid, or maybe your boss wants to know when are you going to be back at work? Meanwhile, you're dealing with pain, medical appointments, missed work, and an insurance claim process that probably seems way more complicated than it needs to be. If you're looking for a Wausau personal injury lawyer after a car crash or trucking accident, farm accident, or maybe a trip and fall, or just some other serious injury in Marathon County, there are a few things you should know before you start dealing with the insurance company on your own. Wisconsin personal injury claims can involve a lot of different laws and rules. Could be auto accident laws, premises liability rules. We have what's called the Safe Place statute in Wisconsin. It might be products liability statutes, insurance codes, maybe insurance policies, and important deadlines that you may not even be aware of. And the decisions that you make early on in the process can make a big difference later on. I'm Craig Steger. I'm a personal injury attorney with more than 20 years of experience handling serious injury cases, including trials against big insurance companies. I represent injured individuals and families in Wausau, Marathon County, and throughout central and western Wisconsin. So here are 3 things you should know after a Wausau personal injury. First, you don't necessarily have to give a recorded statement before you've had a chance to speak with a lawyer. An insurance adjuster may call and they'll make the recorded statement sound like it's routine or mandatory. They may try to tell you they just need and want your side of the story. But think about where you're at that point. Maybe you're still in pain. Maybe you're taking medication. You may not even remember every detail at that point. You're probably still trying to figure out what happened, and you probably don't know everything you need to know about your legal rights before speaking with an adjuster. You may not know the full extent of your injuries, or what witnesses may have seen, or whether there was surveillance video. You may not know, for example, whether a dangerous or defective condition contributed to what happened, or whether someone violated a safety rule. You may not even know whose insurance company is responsible. Once you give a recorded statement, the insurance company has it, and they will use it against you later on if given the opportunity. And if something you say turns out later to be incomplete or inaccurate, they will use that statement against you later. So before you give one, understand who is asking for it, understand which insurance company they work for, and find out whether you're legally required to provide it. Second, photograph and document the scene if at all possible and as soon as possible. This can be especially important if your injury involves some sort of a temporary condition. Ice, it melts or maybe gets salted. That broken step, it finally got repaired. Wet floors get mopped. Cars get moved. Farm machinery gets repaired. Dangerous conditions that existed one day may be completely gone tomorrow. So if you can safely do it, take photographs and video or have someone else do it, and from different angles. Try to show the condition or conditions that caused the injury. Show the surrounding area, any damage to vehicles or farm machinery, trucks, anything involved, and document any other physical evidence that might help explain to someone else later on exactly what happened. If you can, get the names and phone numbers of witnesses. Write down what happened while the details are still fresh in your mind. And think about cameras. A gas station may have surveillance video. A nearby business or bank, or maybe even a home, may have cameras that are recording. It's important, however, to recognize that footage doesn't last forever. Typically, it gets recorded over or deleted if no one requests it within a certain period of time. In a Wausau personal injury claim, video evidence can be the difference between a strong case and one that the insurance company just denies outright. Third, and this is probably most important, get medical attention and follow your doctor's recommendations. Don't try to tough it out. If you get hurt, just go get checked out. Delaying treatment can hurt your health, but it can also hurt your case. When you see a doctor, make sure you tell them exactly what hurts. Now, don't exaggerate your symptoms, but don't minimize it either. If it's your neck, make sure you tell them it's your neck or your back, which part of your back hurts. Some injuries become more noticeable after that initial shock and adrenaline wears off, sometimes hours or even days later. Try to follow the treatment plan. Go to those doctor's appointments. If your doctor refers you to a specialist, follow up with them or get that additional testing that they offer to you. If your symptoms change, make sure you tell your medical providers. Insurance companies look for delays in treatment. They love gaps in care and missed appointments. They'll look for any reason to argue that you weren't really hurt, or if you were, you recovered very quickly after the accident. Good medical care protects your health, but it also creates that important documentation needed to prove later on what this injury did to your life. These same principles can apply whether your case involves a car crash, a commercial trucking accident, or a farm accident, maybe defective machinery or equipment, or a dangerous property condition. And when an injury unfortunately results in death, these issues become even more serious. A wrongful death lawyer may need to investigate the accident quickly, preserve evidence, identify any available insurance coverage, and determine who actually has the legal right to bring that wrongful death claim under Wisconsin law. The important thing is not to assume that the insurance company will protect your interests. Their job is to investigate the claim for the insurance company. Your job is to protect your health, your family, and your ability to prove later on what actually happened. If you have questions after a serious injury in Wausau or the surrounding area, feel free to call or text the number on the screen. It's a free consultation. And if you want to understand what happens next, watch the next video on the screen or pinned below, where I explain the entire process of a Wisconsin personal injury claim from start to finish.